Alright, we're good to go.
Excellent. So, let's start. If you can give us your name, age, occupation, and where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Jeffrey Scott Corbett. Occupation is I run a fitness company. I'm the owner. It's called the Spartan Solution out of Berkeley, California.
Excellent. Are you originally from there?
No, I'm actually originally from San Ramon, born and raised. Well, actually, I was born in Fresno, and then was raised in San Ramon.
What brought you to Berkeley?
Berkeley. You said what part of Berkeley?
What brought you to Berkeley?
What brought me to Berkeley? You know what? I had the opportunity to get in cahoots or in partnership with a partner of mine, and I did. I took the opportunity, took over the Victorian that he was in training, began training my clients, and then actually I found a studio not but 3 miles away from here, which is a storefront. It's large, but what brought me here again was the opportunity to start my own business in an affluent area that was kind of more my style, you know, laid back, relaxed, and people that kind of are all about, you know, making themselves better, but by also making other people better as well. I figured this was a great spot to start.
Excellent. So I want you to, just start, and we'll just start general. Give me like, the 3-minute life synopsis. I know that sounds, difficult, but highlights, lowlights, things that stick out to you that, speak to the person you are and the person that you are today because of them.
Okay. Oh man, a 3-minute synopsis of myself. Again, I'm pretty dedicated to what I do. The reason why is I've always kind of, lived this life of moving around all the time when I was younger. My parents split when I was really young. Hadn't seen my dad since I was 6. Didn't even talk to him until I was about 19 and a half, almost 20. So about 13, 14 years without speaking to my father. And, that all kind of combined, again, growing up in a single parent home for most of those years, really led me to grow up pretty fast. I always had a job. I always was involved in sports and did really well in school. And I think I attribute it to the fact that I knew I needed to do well in life for myself, because I necessarily didn't have, a structured family to fall back upon. And I would say that really made me dedicated and driven to succeed in anything that I tried. Again, whether it was school, sports, work, it didn't matter. And over the years, again, I did start speaking with my father again, saw that whole side of the family, and then I come from a really tight family on my mom's side. It's a Greek family, so we're always seeing each other. And, taking that combination, again, always being dedicated in work and in sports. When I got out of high school and, finished up some school and college a little bit, which I didn't graduate from, but I did go to some classes. Eventually what happened was I was so involved in work that I just kind of lost myself, and I became very successful in work, but, lost kind of like the family ties. And within the last couple of years of opening my own business and just kind of making stuff happen on my own end, what I've realized is it's not about the money, it's about the family, and you can create your own happiness. But I'd say that's a 3-minute synopsis, kind of a little bit all over the page, but that's what makes me me, my man.
Let's touch upon what you mentioned about your dad and the disconnect there for those years. So
yeah.
Tell me why that was there, how it came about, and then how you reconnected.
Okay, I would say when I was 6 years old, my parents split custody with each other. And when I was 6 years old, my father, it was his weekend. It was about, what was it? It was Thanksgiving. And, he said, hey, the week before he had told me we were going to go live like Robin Hood. It was one of my favorite movies at the time. So I, told my mom, hey, Dad says we're going to go live like Robin Hood. Of course, this freaked her out a little bit, but it was their split parenting. So he did have his week with us. He took us for a week, ended up not bringing us back. And it had come down to, he was actually attempting to, take us away from our mother, my sister and I. And he was caught shoplifting in Miami, Florida. He was going to enroll us in military school and, pretty much kind of just try to start a whole new life. But he got caught up in it. And so after that, we had visitation rights, or he had visitation rights with somebody else there for maybe like a year or so. We just didn't really feel comfortable doing it. We didn't really want to see him anymore, so we just stopped. And the judge awarded my mom full custody, no visitations from my father. And that's kind of how it happened, And then as I got older, he actually reached out and tried to send me an email, maybe about, maybe 7 years ago. And it took me maybe a year or two until I decided, what, he is my father. He does have a right to know me if he's still reaching out. And so I just decided that I would kind of keep in contact with him via email and, and kind of chit-chatting through the family a little bit that way. So that was the disconnect, that was why, and that's kind of why I decided to get back into it. As again, he is my father. No matter how much wrong you do, it doesn't matter, you still deserve a second chance.
So you're in a place now where it's comfortable, where I mean it has, reached a point where you have a normal relationship, or?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. We just write emails back and forth, and his emails are, kind of all over the page. It doesn't really make too much sense. So I respond to maybe like a quarter of the emails, and I wouldn't say it's a normal relationship, but it's definitely a communication which we didn't have before, so I'll take it.
You say in your application that you're kind of like a type A, very extroverted, but at the same time can be introverted, so on and so forth. I mean, but your personality seems to be someone who attacks the situation and has a game plan and everything. Do you think on some level you can attribute your personality to, that disconnect that you had with your dad? Is it something where you're trying to ward off all chance of things going awry, and so you want to control everything?
Wow. You know what? That's a pretty good call on that one. I might go with you on that. Yeah, I would say I've never really thought about it, but I definitely am very organized. I like to kind of always have things somewhat planned out, but I'm also very spontaneous. I might have a huge plan and something to do, and all of a sudden something could come up and I just bounce on it. And, I think, yeah, that definitely could come from maybe that disconnect, is maybe knowing that if I'm in control and I have a planned idea, that it's, it's less to go awry. Yeah, I would say you might be right on that. Good call, bud.
So, you seem to encompass, both sides, of the same coin to a degree, like saying, you go after things, you're type A, you like other type A's, you're very opinionated, but at the same time, you don't like people who don't exhibit those kinds of things, those kinds of personality traits. So, what is your main component that you think stands out about you more than anything else?
More than anything else, huh? I would say my ability to continuously be aggressive in a non-threatening way.
And can you elaborate on what that means?
Yeah, I mean, I have the ability. I don't know. I mean, I've at least been told this, that I look pretty kind, and I usually stare people in the eyes a little bit just to kind of tell them, hey, I'm here for you. And so a lot of times, when you have the ability of sales and just communication with people, and then yet people feel comfortable with you, it kind of breaks down the walls a little easier, and you can delve into them a little deeper, and they really don't know too much about you. And it really kind of helps with controlling the situation and just kind of being on top.
How do your personality traits, your personality traits, your type A personality traits manifest in your day-to-day life?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I pretty much have a journal, which I'll show you right now. That, again, I mean, it dates back every single day since December 18th of last year, of everything that I've eaten, all the activities that I've done. And I would say that's a start, because, I pretty much do that every day. And then if I do forget, say for the last like 2 days, actually I haven't done it, but I'll go back through and I'll write in it everything that I did do, all the things that I ate, all the activities that I did. And I would say that in doing that, it keeps me very much on point to being able to accomplish lots of things, not only in a day, but in a week or a month, or whatever time period that I've kind of given myself to achieve that. And I would say that, that definitely plays a huge part in my daily life, because I would say without that, I don't think I would be as driven, or maybe not as successful, because I'd probably be all over the page. Like I said, I'm pretty spontaneous, and if I don't have something rooting me down and kind of keeping me in place, I could tend to just kind of wander and go off and do my own thing,
So yeah, that would be that would be my next question, that, being so organized and detail-oriented, tell me about the other side of that coin. Tell me when you, did something that was, like you were saying before, you're spontaneous, so tell me when you did something spontaneous, threw caution to the wind and just...
Gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely, man. I have, you know, I always take care of things on my end as far as like I'll never just leave anything kind of, you know, out in the open not being taken care of. I mean, if I'm just to leave for a couple of days and go backpacking, for example, I will have my studio covered and make sure that I have trainers there so that, you know, I don't have to be there. So I won't leave anything just hanging and kind of just, oh, I'm out of here. But again, once it's covered and done, which I could get covered in a matter of hours, you know, and that could be while I'm on my way somewhere if it's not too far and I have to come back if I have to. But backpacking is huge with me. I'll usually just take my backpack, some snacks for the day, and I'll head down to like Big Sur, down Highway 1 area, Monterey, and literally, you know, no tent, you know, no pillow, and I'll definitely bring a sleeping bag, and I'll just cruise out, you know, park on the side of the road wherever I might see a trail or something that's fun to hike up, and I'll just hike. And however amount of time I've allotted myself to give, which recently was 3 days, and I left out on a Thursday, it was a beautiful day. I said, hey, you know what, it's beautiful, I haven't been to Big Sur this year, and I just up and left. And just hiked out for 2 days and then hiked back straight, grueling for a day. And I'd say that was the last kind of spontaneous thing that I did real recently. Yeah.
Do you need those kind of releases? Like, do you need to just get out there every once in a while and escape?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say if I didn't get up and just escape every once in a while, I'd probably drive myself nuts, man, with all the stuff that I do and, you know, how many things that I try to achieve, again, in that set time that I've given myself. It's quite a bit of things, and it's a lot to do. And I'd say, you know, again, yeah, if I didn't do that, I'd probably lose my stuff, man. Bless you.
What if you didn't? What if you weren't given the opportunity to have that outlet, that release of getting out there and just kicking back, or you know, getting out in nature, or whatever? You know, what do you think would happen?
I mean, I'd be good for about 6 to 9 months. You know, I mean, I've done that pretty hard grueling where I would work 16, 18-hour days, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And it got to that point right around 9 months where I was just like, man, I need a vacation. You know, I'd say if I didn't get that, you know, and we're going on like 10, 11 months, man, I don't know. You know, I might, gosh, that's a hard question because I'm not sure. I might just, I don't know, start talking to myself? No, I'm not sure. Yeah. Say what?
What role do you play in your group of friends? You know, I mean, are you a leader, a follower, funny guy?
You know, I'd say a mix of maybe all of them. You know, definitely I'm that kind of cheesy motivator, you know, guy that, you know, again, has been successful in quite a few things. You know, I've also not been successful. And I've always been open and honest about that. So kind of with my friends, I'd say that they know that they can come to me, they know that they can trust me. And at the same time, you know, I always love to be the life of the party. I mean, definitely, you know, it's one of those things. I love to laugh, I love to smile. And I'll just start dancing randomly if, you know, if I have to, if someone's having a bad day. So I'd say I kind of play a chameleon role amongst my friends.
Yeah, talking to you seem, you know, very laid back and, you know, jovial and easygoing. You know, reading your application, every answer was really thorough and covered a lot of ground. You know, I feel like that there's two things going on there. You know, one of them, you being, you know, someone who is very comfortable with themselves, but at the same time, it seems like you might have a healthy sense of self. So, I mean, do you think that you have a healthy ego? Has anyone ever told you that? And if so, you know, what is your response to that?
Yeah, you know what? Do I have a healthy ego? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that it's more of a confident thing. I do know what I have and I do know what I don't have. You know, there's nothing's ever perfect, but I definitely believe that because of my background, because of my past and the things that I've been through, I've been an obese child. You know, I was that kid that got made fun of, and so I definitely think that it's more of I'm confident, not cocky, and I'm definitely secure in myself. Yeah, I have a good sense of self, but I'm definitely always learning. Every day I try to keep an open mind to how I can change and how I can improve. And a lot of times, I mean, that comes from some mentors that I've had, you know, songs that I've listened to, just a bunch of things kind of culminating over the years. And I noticed that sometimes I tell someone something, and then I might not believe it or follow it completely myself. And if I'm saying it, then I definitely should. And I try to take that to heart, and again, every day I notice that I'm changing.
When the last time you did something that was out of your comfort zone, something that, you know, pushed you and made you feel like, you know, you weren't in control, and how did you respond to that?
You know what, I'd say the last time I did it was actually pretty recently. I had to do an audition video for a casting for the show Unbreakable. And I'm not much one, I mean, my personality might seem like it, but I don't necessarily get in front of a camera and record myself or, you know, take pictures of myself. If somebody else does it, that's fine, you know, and I'll take the picture. But I myself am not really one to press record and to make all those things happen. So I'd say to kind of get out and do that, and then, you know, show it to all my friends on Facebook or my YouTube pages and have them support me, was definitely something that I was way uncomfortable with. But I did it because I wanted to make it happen. So that's the last time.
Okay. Let's see. What are some of the first impressions that people have of you, to the best of your knowledge?
Probably that I'm a meathead. You know, I mean, I'm a pretty short, stocky guy. You know, I might have I don't know if I have a mean-looking face, but I have facial features. I mean, I have facial hair. Sometimes people tell me it makes me look scary. I don't necessarily believe that, because when I smile, I'm just a jubilant guy. But you know, they might look at me and they might think, God, here comes this meathead, he's probably an idiot, you know, and he's probably not going to be able to talk to me. And I think that definitely all changes, again, once I smile and once I start talking to them and get them to open up. It's definitely not their second opinion. Maybe for some, you know, not everyone loves me. Heck, you're either really going to like me or you're just going to be like, God, I hate that guy.
And why do you think you elicit such a strong reaction from people?
I'm a pretty strong guy, you know, and I think that kind of just comes across. I'm very passionate. And I think that, you know, sometimes if you're not kind of on that same passionate level in life or just in general, I think that's definitely going to put you off, most definitely.
And what are some things you are passionate about?
Oh gosh, fitness, my family, you know, definitely helping others as much as I can. That's probably short and sweet right there.
You know, if you're in a situation or confronted with someone who, you know, doesn't have these character traits that you have, that you hold so highly, you know, is it something where you'll let them know and tell them that they should adjust their life accordingly, or do you just let them go about their business?
God, you know, that's tough. It depends if they're doing something that I think is morally wrong. You know, everyone's different. Again, not all of us are the same. I mean, and to expect that is just going to be, you're off your rocker, you know what I mean? And that's something that I really, again, I try to look at on a case-by-case subject, not to judge somebody initially, and to really kind of keep an open eye as to maybe why they are the way they are. And once I'm able to kind of figure that out, then I can maybe put them in place and or do it in a way that, I don't know, it isn't really putting them in place, but rather helping them see something that then they can make a change for themselves. Again, it kind of falls back on my sales background. Like, I don't appreciate being talked to and told what to do. So there's very few people out there that you can do that to, and a lot of times it's someone who's just like me. And they'll just appreciate that. You know, they look at you and they give you that look like they hate you, but then immediately it's okay, thank you, I needed to hear that. Versus a lot of, you know, the other 3/4 or 7/8 of the population maybe are not like that. You know, you need to kind of approach them differently, and some people take examples, you know, some people need to feel it. So I'd say it's a case-by-case basis. Sometimes I might, other times I might not.
What are some hot button topics for you where if it's like it's brought up, you have to interject what you're thinking, even if you're not part of the conversation?
That could be anything, man. I have to say maybe like hot topics, like right off the bat. Again, I'm going to be real shy at first. I'm going to have a lot of other people kind of speak their minds. But if it's something that I know I'm right on, like 100%, I know for a fact I'm right, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm definitely going to interject, and I'm definitely going to tell you you're wrong. Because I believe that when you know you're right, that you need to speak your mind, because you know everybody else is just being polluted with garbage otherwise.
Okay. So you're familiar with the concept of the show. You know, we want people with strong personalities. You know, they'll be with other people with strong personalities. And you know, we want people who are entertaining in a general sense through, you know, their dynamic personalities and what they bring to the table. And so in light of that, you know, what personality traits do you feel stand out the most, and you know, you use to your advantage to get what you want?
Man, I was just dancing for you on the camera, showing you that I'm a little bit of a goofball. You know, I'd say that because I can get people to kind of laugh and, you know, maybe smile a little bit, that it breaks down their defense barriers. And I would say that that's probably going to be something that I can use to my advantage. Again, and the fact that I'd like to believe I could read people pretty well, just because of the jobs that I've held, and because of what I do for a living. I mean, I'm a personal trainer, you know, and a lot of times you get to know somebody by pushing them to their limits. I've trained over 2,000 clients over the years, and you know, I've pushed a lot of people to their limits. I've also pushed my friends to the limits. I mean, relationships, pretty much, you know, I've done that over the years. Learned my lesson in a few of them, you know, and learned what not to push in people, and what just to let come out. But again, I mean, I would say that just my ability to work with people, make them feel at ease, and then, you know, kind of go from there.
You know, this show involves aspects of having cunning, needing to think analytically, needing to outwit other people. Are there certain things of your personality, or you know, that have come up with your various jobs that you think would benefit you and aid you in such a task?
You know, yes. And I can't really maybe pinpoint any one thing outside of, I mean, I've done a lot of different jobs. I've had a job since I was 15. You know, I always participated in sports and did, you know, very well at them. And I would say the combination of the two actually are very similar. I mean, yeah, one's sports, one's work, but a lot of it comes from teamwork, team efforts. And, you know, in order to be truly cunning, I mean, I think you have to have the ability to, you know, be a go-getter, but also have people be able to respect you on the other hand as well, because you have to work as a team. You know, they're going to need something from you, you're going to need something from them. And if you don't have the ability to get people to kind of, again, trust you, but be aware of who you are, then I just think that really, you know, you're not really going to make it as far as you'd like.
I mean, what are your expectations of the show, and if you make it on the show, what would you expect to play out? How do you think that you would react, given, you know, what you know about the show?
I would expect to win. That's about all I can say with that. I don't know too much else about it outside of it seems like, I don't know, maybe a combination of a few things that we've seen. I mean, I don't really know what to expect, but if I get on there, you know, I mean, that's something that I'm there to do, is to win and to become better.
Give me some examples of your competitive nature.
I was out on a run just the other day, running around the block. Well, not really the block, but I was going on like a little 6.5 mile run. And as I'm running, I had gotten to the university. I live just about 2 miles from the University of Berkeley. And right as I got to the university, I saw a gentleman that looked like maybe he was kind of starting his run, or maybe he was kind of in it. And I saw him running up above me, so you know, it took me maybe a minute or two to catch up to him at the top of the street. Once I got to him, we kind of were battling it out. Again, I never met this guy. You know, we both had headphones in, and we were both just kind of going for it. We went like this for about maybe 20 minutes, till we turned to each other, introduced ourselves. You know, the light turned green, so we continued, and that was it. You know, he came to a spot, I came to a spot, and we said, okay, we're sprinting. We just took off sprinting right quick, and then you know, I just took off and kept going because he had stopped, and that was that. So I'd say that's my most recent kind of thing that I can remember, which was just a couple days ago.
Now, you know, generally speaking, you know, why do you want to do this show, Jeff?
think it would be a great opportunity. I mean, you know, to be on something that's kind of a new concept and something that's new is definitely interesting for me. You know, I'd say that, again, when you're kind of doing something for the first time, no one knows what to expect. So it can either go really big or it can flop. You know, but either way, I'm all about it. It's something new. It's an experience I've never done before. Never been on TV. You know, I definitely love it, outdoor adventures and, like, you know, mental tests. So I would think that being able to compete not only against myself, but other individuals as well who are possibly like-minded and obviously very different, but it's going to add a different aspect of challenge that I've not been introduced to yet.
Okay, great. I look at the camera, give me your name, age, occupation, and where you're from.
My name is Jeffrey Scott Corbett, 27 years old, from Berkeley, California.
All right, you can hit stop and then pick up the phone.
All right, thank you.